Alright, so I just want to get on here real quick and do a quick video on a certain scenario that happened yesterday when I was hafting an axe. I had my buddy Warren over here, and we were I was guiding him through how to haft this cruiser axe. It was a little Sager cruiser axe, and when he got here he said that he wasn't really going to use it. It was in really nice shape. He had a really nice handle for it, and he was kind of just going to keep it in his house, and it wasn't going to be a user axe. So it was kind of like a wall hanger, or he was putting it in his collection or whatever. So when I do axes like that, the process is a little bit different. And what I'm getting at is basically, when I axe like that, I don't glue the wedge in. 98% of the axes I make are user axes, and they go out to guys that use them. And I glue all my wedges, and I use a lot of glue for a few different reasons. I've used axes without gluing the wedge, and I've had the wedge work its way out right away. And so my whole theory on a user axe is glue it in, because so most guys that don't use glue, their theory is, well, if you want to change the handle out, you can pull the wedge out real easy. But I'm not really changing a handle unless it's broken. You know what I mean? I have no reason to take a head off a handle unless it's broken, if it's a user axe, you know. So I glue them, and so a couple of reasons I glue them is so the wedge stays in, and I put a lot of glue in there, and if there's any spaces to fill that the wedge doesn't, the glue will seep in there and actually like fill up space too. So I feel like it makes for a tighter fit. But anyway, so yesterday, you know, I should have done a video while we were doing it, but I was in such, I was not really in a hurry, but I just wanted to get it done, and didn't even think about recording it. But I can kind of talk you through what happened. So anyway, it's not a user axe, so we weren't gluing the wedge, and it had like a divot right here where somebody was like pounding on the head at some point. So on the inside of the eye, it had like a little dent on the inside. So when the handle was in there, it was squeezing the tongue together where the kerf was kind of shut, you know. And but I figured I could get a wedge started in there, and I could get it down in there and spread the wood around that dent. So I knew it was going to be a harder wedge to get in there. So for that reason, I put boiled linseed on it, and this is the actual wedge that we started out using. So I covered it in boiled linseed oil for lubrication, to get that to like slide in there easy. And it ended up working against me, because the fact that it was so lubricated, I got it down in there, and you can see right here is where it was hitting the edge of the eye. It was hitting right there and bouncing back up. And I tried everything, man. I flipped it over on the ground, and I started pounding the wedge in like that by hitting the top or the bottom of the handle. And I would turn it back over, and it would be up like a 1/4 inch. And then I tried just with the little mini sledge tapping it lightly, and once it would get down here, it would pop back up, and it would not stay in there no matter what I did. And I was starting to get kind of frustrated and couldn't really figure out what was going on. And I realized that the boiled linseed oil was too much lubrication, and so we decided to make another wedge, and I used the same kind of wood, Osage orange, and I didn't put any boiled linseed oil on it, and it slid in there perfect, and it didn't bounce back. And then we started talking about it, like, you know, if we use a different kind of wood, you know, like poplar or something softer that the oil would soak into more. Like this is hard wood. It's like a brittly hard wood, and then when you sand on it, it gets kind of smooth. And I feel like this kind of wood is more apt to move around more. So like poplar or, you know, white oak, something soft that might not have happened. But I call that wedge bounce back, and I've had it happen before, and before I just couldn't understand the concept, why it was doing that, and I figured it out yesterday that it was the boiled linseed oil. So, you know, I know guys that haft axes professionally, and they use boiled linseed oil on their wedges, and I'm a fan of it in some cases, but generally I'm not really a fan of it because of what happened yesterday, and from using axes out in the field and wedges popping out and stuff. I'm not a fan of it. So I like glue. That's a personal preference. I'm not saying this is how you should do it. This is how I do it, and I was kind of just showing you guys that because I don't know if there's any guys out there that had this happen and they didn't really know the solution or whatnot. So hopefully somebody can learn from this, and thanks for watching.